What's going on, film fans? Thomas L here. In Theaters Friday is the new action film Top Peppermint, which stars Jennifer Garner as a woman whose daughter and husband gets killed in a shootout. So she goes away of hiding and then she comes out, for 15 years and takes revenge on the people who was responsible. So this is pretty much another revenge film. So I decided to do my top 10 favorite revenge movies. All right. Now, coming in at number 10 is a film called The Brave One, which came out like in 2007, I believe. And it stars like Jodie Foster, who was awesome in this movie, and she kicked tons of ass. Like she pretty much is left in a coma, and after her coma, she seeks vengeance against the perpetrators that leaves a bloody trail across that pretty much killed her. She pretty much looks for the people who like killed her fiance. I mean, this movie is bloody, is violent. It's directed by Neil Jordan, who's a really good director. Brave One is a really fun flick. If you guys still haven't seen Brave One by now, I mean, Joey Foster kicked tons of ass. Yeah, Terrence Howard was in this movie. Naveen Andrews from Lost fame is in this. If you guys haven't seen The Brave One, give it a go. It's a really fun thriller. Coming in at number 9 is the Christopher Nolan movie Memento, which which was actually pretty much Nolan's breakout film, and then from here he went on to do the Dark Knight trilogies, Inception, Dunkirk, and all that. Like Guy Pearce plays a man with short-term memory loss who attempts to track down like the people who murdered his wife. This is based on a short story by Christopher Nolan's brother, Jonathan Nolan. You know, you this is pretty much one of Guy Pearce's best performances. He was terrific in this movie. You also have the likes of Carrie Ann Moss, Joe, what's the last name? Joe Petalano. Thomas Lennon is even in this. Wow, I keep forgetting Lennon was in this movie. But anyway, Memento is a fantastic movie. I mean, if you guys still haven't seen Memento by now, if you want to see a Christopher Nolan movie that's not the Dark Knight trilogies, this is definitely one you'll love to start off with. Alright, coming in at number 8 is the 2004 film Man on Fire, which was directed by the late, great Tony Scott. And you had the likes of Denzel Washington, Christopher Walken, Dakota Fanning, Rhoda Mitchell. Denzel pretty much plays a former assassin who swears vengeance on those who commit an unspeakable act against the family he was like hired to protect. So pretty much a group of people killed this family that he was supposed to protect. So he sets out vengeance. Of course, it's not the only Denzel revenge movie. There's also The Equalizer, which is actually my honorable mention. I was going to choose between this or The Equalizer, but I decided to pick Man on Fire. I mean, it's really darn good. It had like good cinematography in it. Denzel was awesome. Dakota Fanning was amazing. If you guys still haven't seen Man on Fire, give it a go. It's a really good little movie. Coming in at number 7 is Taken, which of course stars Liam Neeson as a father whose daughter pretty much gets taken. So he travels to Paris to find the people who are responsible. Of course, this had like a few other sequels. We had Taken 2, which was pretty cool. Taken 3 was also released, which I dug the sequels. I'm not gonna lie, they were pretty decent. But of course, the first Taken is where it's at. I mean, This showed how much of a badass Liam Neeson is. This movie also shows that you don't mess with a man's daughter. You kidnap a man's daughter, he's gonna go out for vengeance. Uh, I mean, come on, that phone scene's actually pretty iconic now. Like, I think that phone scene where he's on the phone with the people who kidnapped his daughter, and he goes tell him, "I don't know who you are, I don't know what you want, but I will find you and I will kill you." To be honest, I can't remember the whole line, but I mean that scene's just awesome. I'm more for seeing another Taken movie, like a fourth Taken, but the last one kind of ended off of a high note. So, but Liam Neeson is really awesome in these roles, and the guy pretty much kicked tons of ass in these movies. But if you guys still haven't seen the Taken movies by now, treat yourself. They're a blast. Coming in at number 6 is the 1995 Robert Rodriguez directed movie Desperado, which of course starred Antonio Banderas as El Mariachi, and this was like a second installment of Robert Rodriguez's film El Mariachi. Now, in this, El Mariachi's anyway. Sorry about that. In this, El Mariachi's wife is got killed by a wealthy drug kingpin. So he seeks out vengeance on the people, on the person responsible. He pretty much is a musician turned killing machine. And I mean, you got like a Salma Hayek in this. Whew, Salma Hayek. Oh man, that's the scene. That I'm not. If you guys haven't seen the movie, I'm not gonna spoil it. But people who have seen the movie know what scene I'm talking about. She was dynamite in this movie. Antonio Banderas was also awesome. I'd be down to see another El Mariachi film. I mean, I think it's time for another installment of the El Mariachi franchise. We had the first El Mariachi, which was followed by this. Then we had Once Upon a Time in Mexico. We haven't had like an El Mariachi movie yet. Maybe once Rodriguez is done with his Aaliyah Ballinger and maybe another Machete movie, maybe he'll see about doing another one. But we'll see what happens. But Desperado is probably the best out of the franchise. If you guys haven't seen Desperado, it's really awesome. Like, it had some pretty good music in it. I never knew Antonio Banderas could sing, before I saw him in this movie. And the guy also kicked tons of ass in this. Like, Desperado is hell of a lot of fun. At number 5 is John Wick, which of course stars Keanu Reeves, whose dog pretty much gets killed. So he goes out on vengeance to find who pretty much killed his dog. I mean, the John Wick movies, I mean, they're tons of fun. Keanu Reeves kicks tons of ass as the role of John Wick. And what I said about Taken, you don't mess around with a man's daughter. You don't mess around with a man's dog either, especially John Wick's dog. I mean, if you go around killing John Wick's dog, he will come after you and he will kill you. I mean, you don't mess around with this guy's dog. I mean, these movies are bloody fun. Of course, the part 2 had that pencil scene, which was awesome. And of course, part 1 is just tons of fun, like tons of good violence, action. If you guys still haven't seen the first John Wick and the second one as well, give them a go. And of course, next year we got part 3 coming out, which I can't wait for. All right, coming in at number 4 is Kill Bill Volume 1. which of course stars Uma Thurman and was directed by Quentin Tarantino. I mean, these movies are bloody violence. Like, when I mean bloody, I mean bloody. Uma Thurman pretty much plays an assassin who takes vengeance on the team of assassins who pretty much betrayed her. And this movie it's so violent, it's so bloody. Uma Thurman kicked tons of ass. You also got Daryl Hannah in this, Vista A. Fox. This is pure Quentin Tarantino, and he did really good job with these movies. I still wish Quentin Tarantino would go ahead and maybe do another one, but I don't know if that will ever happen. All right, coming in at number 3 is The Crow, which of course starred the late great Brandon Lee, and this movie pretty much went through lots of controversy because sadly Brandon Lee sadly got shot and killed on the set of the movie. Pretty sad, if you think about it. Like, this movie pretty much ended tragically for Brandon Lee. But anyway, back to the movie. This is the first Crow. That is, the sequels after this are not really at all good. God knows if we're ever gonna see a reboot of this, but yeah. I mean, the film stars Lee as a brutally murdered, who was like brutally murdered, but then he comes back to life and avenge the his fiance's death. I mean, he pretty much looks for the people who was responsible for his like fiance's murder. The first Crow is so bloody. It's based on like a comic book, and this was like in the era where comic books wasn't as big as they are today. But anyway, Brandon Lee kicked tons of ass in this movie. My God, I miss that guy. He was so darn good in this movie, and it's sad that his life was like cut short. I mean, here you also got like Michael Wincott as the main villain. Ernie Hudson from Ghostbusters fame is in this. Got my boy Tony Todd. He has a role in this. Yeah, the first Crow is where it's at. You don't have to bother with the sequels. They are not good at all. The first Crow is the best. And God knows if we're ever going to see that remake that they've been talking about for like freaking years. But we'll see what happens with that one. Alright. Coming in at number 2 is the 1994 movie Leon the Professional, which was directed by Luc Besson, who of course went on to direct Lucy, Valerian. This film was also the first movie that starred Natalie Portman in it. And Natalie Portman pretty much plays a girl who wants to avenge her family murder, and her and Jean Reno's character Leon forms like an unusual relationship where he pretty much trains her to become an assassin. Natalie Portman was amazing in this movie. Like, she was like 12 years old at the time, and of course she went to like bigger stuff after this movie. Of course, she won an Oscar for Black Swan and all, and she of course played Jane in the Door movies. Like, you could tell that she had a bright future when she saw in this movie, because she was just incredible in this. Like, she had like good chemistry with Jean Reno. This film also had Gary Oldman in it. It's always a joy to have Gary Oldman in your movie. The always great Danny Aiello appeared in this. Audrey from Little Shop of Horror had a role in this. I mean, if you guys still haven't seen Leon the Professional, give it a go. Like, I've been hearing rumors about like a sequel down the line. I'm all for it. for seeing a sequel. I mean, I'd love to see what Natalie Portman's character, what happened to her in 20 like down the line. Yeah, I'll love to see what she became in modern time. So if they do is like end up doing a sequel to the Professional, I'm all for it. All right, coming in at number one is Death Wish, the original Death Wish. Even though I dug the Bruce Willis recent one,